on, spin! Yes!
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 injuries you actually see on Top Gear.
Yes, he's dead, so that's 10 points away there. And if you want a job on Top Gear, please write to Top Gear.
No, wait!
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most visible and memorable scrapes endured on the unpredictable motor show over the years. Number 10. Chipped thumb. Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson suffered the first serious injury on Top Gear, but didn't want to let on about how serious it was. To complete a challenge with vehicles bought for less than £100, he tested his Volvo 760's durability by driving it into a brick wall. Clarkson was so proud of the car's survival that he refused to accept the points deducted over his broken right thumb. When presented with the horrifying X-ray image, he insisted it was merely chipped.
The important thing is this bit, look. The thumb. It's broken.
The Volvo was still declared the most valuable car when Clarkson dropped the bombshell that he only paid £1 for it. He's lucky to have survived with a car that cheap. Of course, the X-ray of his chipped thumb remains startling. Number 9. The lodged-in nose. Jeremy Clarkson. The risk of bugs flying in your face is one of the few downsides of a Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet. That actually proved to be a serious downside when a bee flew inside of Jeremy Clarkson's face. His speed test of the Porsche with the top back was interrupted when he shouted that something had struck his eye.
My eye! No, listen, a bee went in it.
By the time medics arrived on the scene, a bee had lodged itself in Clarkson's right nostril. The clip was too brief to be graphic, but is still one of the more jarring moments Top Gear ever had. Clarkson's hysterical line, "The thing in my nose has a face," is certainly a fan favourite.
Set off for a weekend away with your wife in either of these cars, and you'll arrive blind and with Bonnie Tyler in the passenger seat.
Number 8. Repetitive oversteer. Jeremy Clarkson.
And the big news this week is Jeremy has been banned from driving for 6 months.
Audiences only saw the aftermath of what might be Jeremy Clarkson's most serious injury on Top Gear. That was painful enough to watch. Midway through Series 6, Clarkson announced that he had slipped 2 discs in his back. This can be brought on by repetitive physical exertion, as in intense driving.
It wasn't his local magistrate that banned him, it was his doctor.
It was, and that's why it's taking him so long to get to the stage.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Clarkson later attributed the injury to oversteering a Vauxhall Montero VXR, which he still gave a glowing review.
Look, that's the longest one I ever did, and then my spine shattered.
Yeah.
While refraining from driving and writing during a 6-month recovery period, he worked through the pain to host the show for the rest of the series. He naturally kept a good humour through every agonising cringe and awkward seating position, but fans have enough trouble getting over this period of wincing alongside Clarkson. Number 7. Cracked ribs. James May. As much as James May is teased for his relatively safe driving record, horse riding is a different story. During Series 22's Patagonia Special, the team was forced to detour through the Argentine desert due to a roadblock.
No.
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 Plans to conveniently travel on horseback quickly changed when the mighty steed named Berger aggressively threw May onto the desert floor.
Oh, that's not gone well. Oh, that's not gone well. You all right, mate?
It was later determined that he had 3 cracked ribs. The desert trek was thus abandoned in favour of an alternate driving route.
I guess we're walking then.
May was able to continue after his spectacular fall, but was even crankier and slower than usual. It turned out Berger was no convenience at all on this trip. Number 6. Paintballs, Jeremy Clarkson. The Top Gear team once tried to prove that cars are more popular than mainstream art by creating an automotive-themed art gallery. The experiment was not as highbrow as it sounds.
So we'll sort of splatter the canvas using this car as our brush.
For one of his pieces, Jeremy Clarkson loaded paintballs into the exhaust of a Red Bull RB1, expecting that they would be fired into an abstract painting. At first, the car shot the paintballs clean through the canvas Clarkson was holding. Before he could react, he took a hit to the plums.
I tell you, I'm not giving him mouth to mouth.
After his recovery and some adjustments to the project, Clarkson completed his masterpiece of sorts. The automotive art gallery may have been some success, but Clarkson's unfortunate paintball incident had the biggest cultural impact, never mind physical. Number 5. VESPA vs. POTHOLE, Jeremy Clarkson.
You'll now attempt to achieve in 8 days what the Americans failed to achieve in 10 years. Get from the south of Vietnam to the north.
Jeremy Clarkson famously despises motorbikes. Even with his relative respect for Vespas, his first experience in the Vietnam Special was not entirely pleasant. Clarkson humorously voiced concern about the reliability of a 1967 Piaggio on the rough roads between Ho Chi Minh City and Dalat. Once he got the hang of the two-wheeler, he became rather boastful. Things suddenly became unscripted when he hit a pothole, fell off the Vespa, and slid along the road.
I am now boldly going where no American has been before.
This set him back on his journey, though the injuries were thankfully minor. This crash is now a favourite among Top Gear fans, especially those who share Clarkson's disdain for motorbikes.
I've got cracked ribs, probably my elbow's ruined, but look at my suit!
Clarkson himself still has a soft spot for Vespa, despite his iconic hard fall. Number 4. Recovery concussion, James May. It seems James May is most accident-prone in vast, empty deserts. When the team journeyed across the Syrian desert for the Middle East Special, Jeremy Clarkson's Mazda MX-5 got stuck on an incline. May guided Richard Hammond as he used a recovery tether attached to his car to pull it up. Due to a coordination error, May was yanked to the ground and hit the back of his head.
Go, 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 go!
This gave him a concussion so serious that he couldn't remember where he was. Clarkson and Hammond continued the journey while May was rushed to hospital.
Plainly, James was in a bad way, so he was taken to hospital, leaving Hammond and I to carry on alone.
He soon made a full recovery and downplayed the injury. Still, fans consider this moment to be one of the more frightening on Top Gear.
It's only a small bang on the head, and I'm mended.
Number 3. Head, not really, dislodged from spine, Jeremy Clarkson. A lorry is nothing to play with, especially if you paid under £5,000 for it. Jeremy Clarkson took particularly hard wallops throughout a challenge of the team's lorry driving abilities.
Come on! Spin! Yes!
Fans remember the blow to his torso when he power slid the Renault Magnum and fell onto the gear shifter. But the most frightening injury was when he tested the truck's durability against a brick wall. Despite a helmet and extensive padding, Clarkson banged his ankle against the clutch pedal and suffered serious whiplash. The Magnum, however, was barely phased. With a vehicle that powerful, it's no wonder Clarkson felt like his head was dislodged from his spine.
The impact was a bit nasty.
He soon got over his injuries, hopefully with a new respect for lorry drivers. Number 2. Time Bandit Crash, Freddie Flintoff.
That looks very, very dangerous.
Top Gear hasn't had many injuries since the departure of the original hosts. Things got quite hairy during a drag race on the same runway where Richard Hammond had his infamous dragster crash. Freddie Flintoff drove the Time Bandit, a motorised tricycle he had to operate lying down. After crossing the finish line, Flintoff was unable to stop the trike before it ran off the runway at 124 miles per hour.
Whoa, I'm running out of runway! I'm running out of runway!
Luckily, his injuries were fairly minor. The potentially fatal crash was nonetheless so spectacular that it was highly publicised and used to promote Series 28. It's still nothing compared to the gruesome crash that halted production of Series 34 and convinced Flintoff to leave Top Gear out of safety concerns. Number 1. Near fatal dragster crash. Richard Hammond. Jeremy Clarkson and James May worryingly opened Series 9 without Richard Hammond. He thankfully came out moments later to a great fanfare.
Are you now a mental?
No!
He had just narrowly escaped death in a jet-powered vampire dragster. Naturally, the show couldn't help but roll the clip at the end of this episode.
Every part of my body is full of adrenaline.
Hammond was attempting to break the land speed record when the dragster flipped at over 300 miles per hour. The crash landed him in a 2-week coma with catastrophic brain damage. He suffered amnesia, PTSD, and maybe the most sobering period in Top Gear's history. Indeed, the incident was so terrible that Clarkson and May agreed to never make fun of Hammond for it.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.